It's Friday, the 13th of February. I'm following up on yesterday's PlayStation State of Play. That was February 12th, 2026, for those of you following along at home. And there was some good stuff in there. There was some less good stuff. There was some stuff that didn't interest me. There was some stuff that just kind of confused me. So I'm just going to start right off the bat with the big Sony stuff. All right, the biggest piece of news is that Sony Santa Monica is remaking the original God of War Greek trilogy. It's not entirely clear if they're remaking each game individually or if it's all going to be a singular package. They said it was early in development. I don't get it. I really don't get it. You can already play God of War 3 remastered on the PS4 and PS5. It's, a 1080p 60 FPS game on the PS4. I don't know if there was ever a PS4 Pro or a PS5 patch that upgraded the resolution, but I can't imagine that would be anything more than a patch to get the thing up to a 4K 60. The original God of War 1 and God of War 2 were PlayStation 2 games. 2005 and 2007 respectively is when those two came out, and they were remastered on the PS3. Yeah, I believe it was 720p, probably 30, maybe 60 FPS. I'm not sure. I don't remember. Both of those games are playable with the PlayStation Plus cloud streaming on the PS4 or the PS5 or PC, I believe, as well. And I just don't know who's clamoring for these. I don't get it. TC Carson is back as Kratos. He was very excited about that. I'm happy for him. Absolutely. He seems very excited to be back in the role. That's wonderful. But Sony Santa Monica, they put out God of War Ragnarok in 2022, I believe. And what have they been working on for the last 3 years? They put out a chunky DLC from Ragnarok. And then what's been going on? Have they really been working on this? Did they work on something else and that got canceled? Are they still working on a different product? Is this a two-team studio now? Who is clamoring to go back and play God of War 1, 2, and 3? They're good games. They're still a lot of fun. Don't get me wrong there. I just don't get it. This game is years away. Whatever this ends up being, if it's a total remake of all three of them in one singular package or if they're individualized, it's gonna be so far away. Is Sony ashamed of the dumb sex mini games that are in those original God of War games and they're trying to remake it so they can avoid having to just put their efforts behind that game again? I don't think that's it. Maybe it is, but I just don't see it. Are they going to, retcon anything or redo this work? Or is it just going to be, here's the voice acting, here is what these games were at the time. They look fancy now. Is it going to be the fixed camera system of the original God of War games? Or are we going to get some weird over-the-shoulder thing like the God of War 2018 and God of War Ragnarok, which I think are fantastic games? Why are we going backwards? Why are we going back to this well? Re-release the games as they are on the PS4, PS5, PC, whatever. You don't need to remake it entirely. Why do we keep doing this? Sony has an affliction for remaking games that don't need to be remade. Why did they remake Horizon Zero Dawn or remaster it or whatever you want to call it? Why did they remake The Last of Us and made it The Last of Us Part 1? And now there's this. I don't get it. Sony's really making some weird decisions with their really big marquee studios. Speaking of, we didn't see anything from Insomniac's Wolverine, which was pretty surprising. To me, that game is supposed to come out this year, so the fact that we didn't even get a tease for Wolverine from Insomniac, or any more information on it, was surprising. We didn't see anything from Naughty Dog and Intergalactic, which I'm fine with. That game has yet to compel me in any meaningful way. But I'm just going to kind of run down everything real quick. Right off the bat, they gave us the new Kena, Scars of Cosmora. That's coming out this year, PS5 and PC. That's from Ember Labs. This is the Kena Bridge of Spirits sequel. It looks really nice. It's got some big open zones and ride around on creatures. I'm glad to see that Sony's putting their weight behind it, and I should probably go play that first game. It got pretty good reviews, so I think if this is building on that, it has some more combat, has a little bit more going on beyond that first game, so I think that's pretty cool. And then we did get Ghost of Yotei Legends, which looks really good. It has all of the different Yotei 6, but as yokai. That looks good. It's March 10th for that. It's free DLC for current owners, obviously. Death Stranding 2 PC Edition got a trailer with a release date of March 19th. Game looks really good. It's Death Stranding 2. What do you expect? They kept you waiting not too long. It's another Nixie's port who is becoming a very important part of Sony's first-party stable. And then we got Mike Booth and Bad Robot Games presenting more 4 Loop, 4-player co-op roguelike experience, described as having an emergent, challenging combat sandbox. No true runs are ever the same. There's this cool like probability map thing that's very like FTL in terms of like picking your next mission. You all get to vote on which mission you want to do. Frame rate was looking a little rough. The gunplay itself, I'm not too sure about. It looks really odd. Obviously, we'll see how it ends up feeling. There's going to be some sort of upcoming playtest soon. It has some interesting ideas. You can fight an evil Rubik's Cube, so that's pretty cool. PS5 and PC, they want you to wishlist it. There's some upcoming playtests. Quick little Capcom block with Pragmata and Resident Evil Requiem. Both of those are still coming out soon. Pragmata, April 24th, and Resident Evil Requiem, February 27th. Both of those games still look cool. I like Pragmata. I liked that demo quite a bit, so I'm looking forward to more of that. And Resident Evil Requiem looks good. We're seeing a little bit more of what this game looks like. Leon is going back to the Raccoon City Police Department building. And then we moved into kind of a shorter little segment here with Sean and Sid from PlayStation. Had Legacy of Kain Defiance remastered. Kain and Raziel, this was I think a PS2 game. They said there's updated graphics, a new third-person camera. There's a photo mode. There's promo comics if you buy the fancy version. Demo for an unreleased like sequel was also in that package, which is kind of neat. Defiance is out March 3rd. And then we got Brigandine Abyss from HappyNet Corporation. I've never heard of it. Apparently these games date back to the original PlayStation. It's a fantasy war strategy RPG. Might be your bag. It wasn't really mine. Speaking of, Koei Tecmo had an update on Dead or Alive. Dead or Alive 6 Last Round is out June 25th, 2026. Lots of DLC. There's new upgrades for PS5, new costumes, and improved photo mode, some new characters. They're going to have some sort of free-to-play version to get people give it a try. It didn't do a ton for me. I'm not a huge Dead or Alive or really just a huge fighting game fan, but yeah, it's the 30th anniversary of Dead or Alive, and also they had a teaser for Dead or Alive 7. I assume that's what it was. Ryu Hayabusa's in there. Control Resonant was here. We got a bunch of gameplay. The creative director walked us through how it all worked. Very character action. Enemies still have HP bars, and there's damage numbers popping up. There's this shift ability that lets you stand on walls or kind of just change where gravity pulls you. Gave me a little bit of Gravity Rush energy for those of you out there. Dylan, you're playing as Dylan Faden, not Jesse, and I mean the game looks incredible. I'm not totally sold on the action though. It's very much a character action game. He's got a bunch of different weapons. Combat abilities, got abilities on L2, R1, and R2. We'll see how it all feels at the end of the day. I really liked Control. I only finished it last year finally. This is a pretty big move for that team in terms of what they are used to. You know, they're used to third-person shooters, and this is moving in a very different direction, but I think it looks good, and I'm excited to see more of it. After that, we got a game called Crimson Moon from Probably Monsters. Dark Souls-esque combat. There's co-op. It's a very colorful art style, very over the top. But yeah, so it's very Lords of the Fallen / like Darksiders energy to me. You play as a half man, half angel. You fight gross big boys, and it's certainly one of those. And we also got Beast of Reincarnation. This is Game Freak and Fictions. That's the other co-developer on that game. You play as this purifier lady. It's a pretty big swing for Game Freak. Obviously, this is like a co-development system for them. So how much of it is really them, I don't really know. But it looks good. There's a white-haired anime boy. You got to save him. Game's coming out August 4th, 2026. Has a lot of Nier and Nier Automata energy. Here's hoping that lands all right for them. We got a new Rayman 30th Anniversary Edition. Been 3 decades of Rayman. It's Ubisoft alongside Digital Eclipse. There's going to be a digital museum with 5 playable versions of the game. Some new accessibility options. Playable prototype from early development of the game, which is pretty neat. New documents and interviews from original developers, all that kind of stuff. Game's out today, February 13th, digitally, and then it's going to be out June 26th physically, which is pretty nice. We got a quick update from Mina the Hollower. This is from Shovel Knight's Yacht Club Games. It's been in development for a long time. Still does not have a official release date, just spring 2026, which is right around the corner. Hopefully that game does well. There's going to be a demo for Mina the Hollower on PS5. It should be out already at this point. Then we got a trailer for Neva Prologue. This is Devolver Digital publishing. It is what appears to be a DLC for that game Neva, which is a very beautiful 2D side scroller. This is out very soon, February 19th. Keep an eye on that if you're a fan of that studio. We got Yako Shinobi Ops up next. This is Acquire publishing that one. These devs have ninja credentials dating back to the Tenchu series. It's like a ninja heist game. I'm not really sure. It's like a top-down, real-time stealth strategy game with multiple playable characters. It's supposed to be out in 2027. If the strategy of it is good and, you know, it has a good game feel, that's kind of what matters. Up next was a big one from Krafton at Krafton Montreal studio, based on The Bird That Drinks Tears, a Korean high fantasy novel series. First one came out in 03, so it's been around for a while. I don't want to be redundant, but it really just kind of looks like Dynasty Warriors Origins, but you play as a buff chicken guy. 100% chance this is Unreal Engine 5. You can ride on a big beetle guy. You got a dragon buddy. There's like thousands of enemies on screen at once. It's definitely far away. It's called Project Windless right now, so no idea when that's coming out officially, but looks expensive. It has some Wukong energy, definitely Dark Souls kind of combat in there with the Dynasty Warriors Origins. Just tons of enemies on screen. Krafton's made some weird moves in the last couple of years. Obviously, they're the PUBG team, PUBG publishers, and Callisto Protocol was through them, and that didn't do great, but we'll see. Then we had a new trailer for Star Wars Galactic Racers. This looks awesome. Yeah, really good looking game. Has a story mode that is looking kind of goofy in a good way. I'm really hoping this is channeling like MotorStorm from the PS3 because it looks awesome. They showed off some pod racers for those of you who are worried. Ben Quadraneros is there, so don't you worry about that. You got the big boy Ben pod racing again. So yeah, Star Wars Galactic Racers, that's out this year. I'm excited. Yeah, we got a new trailer for 007 from IO Interactive. Bond is immature and reckless. Ooh, but he's charming. M is bringing back the 00s, so they got rid of the 00s, which is kind of fun. A little idea here. There's also some talk about a 009 who's trying to avoid capture. And this game continues to look really good. Those Hitman games are very cool systemic levels and gameplay design, and just really neat. And if this is taking a lot of that and then injecting it with the Bond or like an Uncharted type of big set piece moments, I think that'll be really cool. Yeah, so I'm excited for 007 First Light. That's May 27th, 2026 for that. We'll see how it all shakes out at the end of the day. Hopefully that team can get that thing in good shape for launch at the end of May. And then the next kind of block was this big Konami block. Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 2. This is Metal Gear Solid 4, Guns of the Patriots, and Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker. MGS4 famously locked to the PlayStation 3, very much built for that game console, and they finally did it. They finally got this thing off the PS3. Hopefully the performance of the game is successful in terms of the actual frame rate, because that game was an unlocked 60 on the PS3 and it really wavered all over the place. PC emulation, I know RPCS3 has had some really big strides in terms of making that game run and play better. I'm very excited for the folks into that, and I might check it out. I still need to play MGS4. I have it on my PS3. Maybe I'll end up doing that at some point here. But yeah, they finally did it. I'm very happy for them. Peace Walker was originally a PlayStation Portable game. It came out on the PS3 after that. Most people also love that game. It's looking good. That collection is out August 27th. There's also bonus content for Metal Gear Ghost Babel. I don't know if that's a pre-order bonus or something like that, but we'll see. The Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 1, which was MGS 1, 2, and 3, is also getting another big final update with a high-resolution PS1 rendering mode for the original Metal Gear Solid, and then MGS 3 is also getting some higher resolution stuff too, so that's nice. And then we got Darwin's Paradox. This game looks like a really good time. It's kind of giving like Oddworld, Abe's Odyssey energy to me, and it's out April 2nd. That's my birthday, so please be excited for that. There's a demo out now, so if you're interested, definitely worth checking that game out. Then we got Castlevania 40th Anniversary. This game is from Evil Empire and Motion Twin. They are the folks that made Dead Cells, so they also did that Dead Cells Castlevania DLC a couple of years ago. So the game is called Castlevania Belmont's Curse. It's coming this year. Konami described it as the first title celebrating 40th anniversary of Castlevania. Personally, I'm hoping we get another Lords of Shadow type thing. I really liked Lords of Shadow 1. I know Lords of Shadow 2 was a mess, but that first game was really neat. That'd be cool to get another big 3D swing on Castlevania. Next up, we got a game with a guy named Simon in it. He can't stay in a room forever, nor can that other person. He's in a place called St. Amelia after he wakes up in the water again. And we find out this is Silent Hill Townfall. It's a first-person horror game from the developer Screenburn in collaboration with Annapurna and Konami. It's a dumb name, but I mean, the game looks cool. This Silent Hill revival that we've been in after Silent Hill 2 remake and then Silent Hill F last year seems to keep on trucking. They're trying different things. They're being different kinds of games. This is set in the UK, which is neat. And I'm glad they finally got out of the everything has to be in Silent Hill proper. I think that's a good thing. It's supposed to come out sometime in 2026. And then the next thing we got was A World Shrouded by Lightfall, which is not the name of the game, but I did think it was funny that they put that directly after Silent Hill Townfall, and then a trailer for this thing called Rev Noir, which is an action RPG, JRPG from Konami. It is, it's definitely one of these games. I don't have a ton more to say about it. Its aesthetic did not do anything for me, and I hope I hope it's all right. It's just not really, not doing it for me. That's Rev Noir. It's supposed to come out at some point. It's in development for PlayStation 5. Finally out of the Konami block, and we are into a John Wick game. We see lots of melee combat, some guns, good sound effects on those guns. Let me just say that. It looks like it might be like a John Wick prequel. I'm not positive. I've never seen any of those movies, and I feel bad for saying that, but we'll see. The game is just called John Wick, as of right now at least. This is from Saber Interactive. No date or anything like that. We'll see what ends up shaking out on that front. We had a trailer from Bungie with Marathon coming out soon. I'm really into the aesthetic of this game. If they were able to tighten stuff up after the playtests last year and this extra development time they've gotten alongside Arc Raiders having a big explosion of popularity after it came out last year. I'm looking forward to seeing what Marathon can do for Bungie. They've been in a really rough spot for a good chunk of time now. I don't know if Marathon's going to get them out of it, but personally, I'm more into the look of this game than Arc Raiders. You know, I like the first-person perspective. Bungie can still make a damn good shooter. There's a server slam test February 26th through March 2nd, so put down the Resident Evil Requiem and do that instead. Game's out March 5th for $40 here in the US. I don't know. Marathon could be good. I'm hopeful that they can siphon some of the Arc Raiders audience or get them just to try something different. I think that would be nice. I think it'd be nice for game studios to succeed. Up next, we're kind of wrapping up on that with some more folks from PlayStation. This was Brett and Kristen talking about stuff coming to PlayStation Plus soon. Spider-Man 2 is coming to the PlayStation Plus game catalog, which is for extra and premium subscribers next week. That's February 17th. Insomniac Spider-Man 2 from a couple years ago. And then we got Tekken Dark Resurrection from the PlayStation Portable coming in March to the Classics catalog, which is premium only. And then Time Crisis, the original for PlayStation 1, is coming in May. Again, that's going to be premium only as a Classics catalog member. There's going to be gyro aiming to simulate the light gun experience. And then we got another trailer for Big Walk from House, the folks behind Untitled Goose Game. It's like up to 6 player walking around this big open world, solving little puzzles with your buddies. I think it's a prox chat friend slop game. We're still just seeing a 2026 release date. They don't have a specific window or actual date. I think the game looks cool. I'm worried it's coming out too late for them. You know, we've had a ton of these friend slop games that just explode, right? We had Lethal Company, we had Content Warning, obviously we had Peak, and we had RV There Yet, and so many other games in this sub-genre or this kind of experience. And Big Walk might be the best one of those games, but I'm worried this game is coming out too late after this little zeitgeist moment has happened. But fingers crossed I'm wrong. That's going to be in the PS Plus game catalog immediately if you're an extra or premium tier once it does release. So I think that'll be nice as well if you're already on that tier. I'm just worried it's coming out too late. Then we got another big chunk of Sony PlayStation stuff. This is again Saros right off the bat with an April 30th release date. More gameplay being walked through by Gregory Loudon, the Housemarque creative director. I mean, the game just looks banging. I got nothing bad to say about this game. I loved Returnal. I never finished it, but I had a really good time with Returnal. And this looks like it's just building on that in so many ways. Rahul Kohli is a great actor, and I'm excited to see him in this role. There's permanent progression systems, these like modifier things, so you can make things tougher or weaker, but you have to stick within this little balanced window. I think that's kind of fun. So you can make parts of it harder and other parts of it easier. So if you're okay at this part of the game and bad at this part, you can kind of mix and match that, which is neat. You can also teleport into the different biomes, so you can have essentially shorter run backs, which is nice. You find an alien device that calls the eclipse, but it's a cool, scary eclipse, which they described as having an escalation of gameplay, audio, and visuals. So there's like corrupted projectiles that all change how the game works. Your weapons are altered. I think it's interesting. I'm very excited to see this game come out, and I hope it is as good as Returnal was. Up next, we got a trailer for Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls, and we got 4 new characters. These are the Unbreakable X-Men, Storm, Magic, Wolverine, and Danger. Game's out August 6th, 2026. They tease a little bit of their story mode, and again, I don't have anything super strongly to say about the fighting aspect of it. I'm not really a fighting game guy, but the game looks really good. Arc System Works knows how to make a fighting game. These characters look cool. I'm looking forward to it. And then we also got a God of War 2D side-scroller from Mega Cat Studios and Sony Santa Monica. This is called God of War Sons of Sparta. It's out today. You play as both Deimos and Kratos, and it's the first time that TC Carson has voiced Kratos in over a decade. So again, really happy for him. I'm not sure why we are doing it. Hopefully this little 2D side-scroller is fun. I haven't seen a ton about it yet. But then we had that big Sony Santa Monica God of War trilogy remake, and I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't know. I'm very intrigued as to why this is what they are doing with that studio and that franchise and this money, when I imagine it would be a much easier lift to re-release those original games. They still look dang good. This is God of War 2 running at 4K on my PC through emulation, right? This is PCSX 2. I'm like getting a good 4K look on this one, and I'd be fine with this if this was the game that I was purchasing for $60 on the PS5 that, or $70 on the PS5 that was God of War 1, 2, and 3 all in this package. But that's not the move they're doing, and I just don't get it. Like, is God of War Trilogy Remake going to be a PS6 game? It has to be, right? Like that's years away, unless they're moving the PS6 away because of all the RAM shortages and stuff. At the end of the day, Sony has a couple of studios that put out really good work all of the time. I would say Insomniac, and I would say Sucker Punch, and I would say Housemarque. And then they have other studios, Sony Santa Monica, Naughty Dog, that I don't know what's going on down in South California where those studios are located. Why is it just remakes and languishing on these franchises or in these studios? We don't even know when Intergalactic is supposed to be out. I think it's supposed to be 2027. And that will be 7 years since The Last of Us Part 2. I just don't get it. These studios used to make games, and now Naughty Dog is 6 years into development on Intergalactic, and we've seen a single trailer, and half of that trailer is product placement for Sony and Porsche. Obviously, it's not a real Porsche, but like that's stupid still. There's some good looking games from this state of play. I'm looking forward to that Star Wars Galactic Racers game. I think 007 First Light looked cool. Control Resonant is kind of my other big one, and Saros. I have no interest in God of War Trilogy Remake. I can play those games. I own them. I played the God of War Chains of Olympus on the PlayStation Portable last year. Played it on my PS Vita, and it's a ton of fun. That game is still great fun. I bet if you just up-res that thing, 60 FPS, yeah, obviously that's not going to look as good as God of War Ragnarok, but it also isn't going to cost as much as God of War Ragnarok to make. It's not for me. It's just, it's not for me, and if that's what it is, that's what it is. Yeah, that was Sony's State of Play. Some good stuff, some bad stuff, some stuff not for me, some stuff not for you, probably. We'll see how it all shakes out.